Wow. Welcome in, Cowboys Nation. I don't know how I have a voice right now, but welcome into the Postgame show presented by Callahan Motor Companies. Dallas wins a ridiculously exciting, crazy game. I aged about 10 years, 40-34. And guess what? I don't care how it got done. You beat those Philadelphia Philly Eagles and sent them home.
They need to bring raising the roof back. That was a good celebration. I appreciate the good raising the roof.
And all you I Am Legend monsters out there need to put some respect on Ford's name. Period.
Go off then. I'm going to let you go off because you sound...
27 for 35, 347 yards, 3 touchdowns, and that interception to start the game. But after that, he was lights out, and he saved that man, Callahan Moore's ass. He saved Dan Quinn's ass.
Funk flex
And he
growl.
saved the Cowboys game, in my opinion. But if you want to come in here with your nonsense, please, this week, I invite you to come in with the nonsense I Am Legend monsters. But I'm going to let everybody else go off, though, Jesse. I'm still obviously hyped right now. I don't have my breath. I've been running around telling all the Eagle fans, go home, go home, go home. You can't guard 88. You can't guard 88. Whoever was out there for Philly couldn't guard 88, and he went the hell off again, proving that he's a wide receiver one. But go ahead, Jesse, before I take over this whole damn show.
No, go ahead, please. I don't want to stop you. I like when you get. I like when you get like this. I'm just gonna sit back and be a spectator.
No, I'm done now. I'll rebuttal off of you, man. But I'm just still excited from this game. I cannot stand the Eagles. Minshew came out here and diced up this dang defense, but the defense eventually got the stop that they needed to get. But that's a whole nother discussion. But right now, I kind of want to sit in this victory for a few minutes here before we dive into everything else from bar for bar.
Yeah, I mean, for the Cowboys, this is one of those gutted out games, right? This is by hook or by crook. Whatever it takes. When you get to this point in time of the season, everything isn't going to be pretty. Everything isn't going to be, all flowers and roses. Sometimes you got to just go out there and win a high-scoring, ugly game.
Facts.
We talked about it in the pregame show about how offense, it was your turn. It was your turn to finally hold up this defense. They held you down for 5 games when Dak Prescott was out with injury, and yet they had to have Cooper Rush at quarterback. That defense at the beginning of the year was absolutely lights out. And now they're ailing, and now they're hurting, and now they're playing with one arm behind their back with all the injuries and can't get a pass rush. So it was upon the offense to kind of finally step up and live up to the hype, live up to all of the names, all of the accolades that is on that side of the football. And today they showed up. After the egregious interception in the first half for Dak Prescott, he just went on a tear. One time they showed a stat and said what he was in zone. It was like 19 for 19 for 199 yards and 2 touchdowns versus zone coverage. And so, almost 350 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb went bonkers today. One thing I will say, I don't know why we go away from guys that are rolling like we do.
You know.
Especially in crucial situations. But anyway, offensively, they stepped up. They turned points. They had, I think there was 17 points off the 4 turnovers today for the Cowboys offensively. So when the defense got them the ball, which they got the ball 4 times from the Philadelphia's offense, they went and scored 17 points. And honestly, when you look at the way this game was broken down,
that's deciding.
The deciding factor. Like I can give you the same amount of first downs. You look at it across the board. Third down efficiencies, total plays run, total yards, total drives. I mean, it was almost identical all the way down the ledger, except for the turnovers. The Eagles had 4 turnovers, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions by Gardner Minshew, and the Cowboys were able to turn that into 17 points. And I think at the end of the day, that was the absolute determining factor for this football team.
We talked about how the Cowboys, they can't have these super highs, super lows. They got to find a way to remain a little bit more consistent. After that interception, I think they found that in regards to the offense.
Yeah.
The offense was having way too many highs and lows, peaks and valleys, as opposed to being kind of steady in that middle. They only had 4 penalties, and I think 2 of them were purposeful, if I'm not mistaken.
Delay a game at the end of the game.
I felt like there was another delay somewhere, but maybe 1. So let's say 3 penalties. all game. That's the third or fourth game in a row they've had under 5 penalties.
And again, 2 of them, the delayed game, that's one of them. And then the other one should have never happened because Cavante Turpin should have never taken the ball.
That's the other one.
9 yards out of the back of the end zone. That should have never happened because why are you taking the ball in the end zone 9 yards deep?
Out.
8 yards deep.
And he almost took it to the crib, but there was a real holding that Nahshon Wright should have. So they played, we talked about having to play clean.
Yep.
They, for the most part, I can live with 3 penalties, a turnover, and you remain clean. I felt like they did that in those departments because that's what has been killing the Cowboys when they've been in these games is with penalties and with turnovers. And then it was obviously your playmakers came to play today, and C.D. Lamb, who was phenomenal. Again, 10 receptions, $120, 2 touchdowns. When he tucked that chain in.
He 2 for 2 when he tucked the chain in motion.
When he tucked that chain in, it's a problem, man. But they figured out, or maybe it was Dak who figured out, just get the ball to that man. It got a little weird when they went to Noah Brown to end the game there again, and we were all like, whoa, what's happening? But
like, we went to middle ground across the middle into 2 defenders, and, like, if it would have gotten popped up higher, that might have been another interception. This time it just so happened to get popped down and it hit the ground instead of getting popped up in the air.
Yeah, but on the other side of the ball.
But before we start, we got to give credit.
Wait.
We got to give credit.
T.Y.
We got to give credit to T.Y.
Why? What am I doing?
Like, this is what Jerry Jones talked about, a guy that can come in and make those plays. It's 3rd and 35. Like, there is no play in the playbook.
Let's set that up, though.
Where, like,
can we set that up?
Please do.
What? Reason why we're laughing, bro, is because for 2 weeks we've said, okay, you get to the third quarter, you get put in a weird situation, a sack happens.
Yep.
A sack fumble.
Yep.
3 weeks in a row, Jesse. What does this coordinator come out here and do the very next play? Empty set. Against a 6-man rush, what happens?
Another
sack.
Yeah. Your right tackle gets beat first for a sack fumble. Then you turn right back around and line up an empty set. And then your left tackle gets beat for a sack. And now you're looking
third and forever.
Third
okay,
and 35.
now go.
And your 3rd and 35. And, I mean, one thing we do know they can run, 4 verts. They ran 4 verts. They lined up T.Y. and Cavante Turpin on one side, and they ran 4 verticals. And Darius Slay was playing in that one. And I said to you, Kellen Moore owes the safety Scott a steak dinner. Took a horrendous angle.
Very bad angle.
Like, literally, it's 3rd and 30. I know the defensive back coaches are saying, hey, it's 3rd and 30. You have to be deeper than the deepest. Let nothing get behind you. And Scott came up and took a terrible angle. And I guess he was, I don't know. He took a terrible angle. And Johnny on the spot, T.Y. Hilton, made a fantastic contested catch for the conversion.
A ridiculous throw.
Yeah.
I don't know how he puts that on the money with the safety coming over the top.
The funny part about it, sometimes you make that throw, and if they intercept it, you go,
that's a punt.
That's a punt. But T.Y. came through.
And then to catch it and keep control, it's so funny. I wasn't saying it for this moment, but I just kept saying, T.Y. can be a wild card. You don't need him to get 6 catches. I just need a player to a game. But here's where I said, can he do one thing that the Cowboys haven't been able to do? Get deep. 7 targets last year, 4 receptions, $169 and a touchdown on throws 20-plus yards down the field. They just told him to run down the field, and T.Y. told him this week, I can still run.
You might want to say T.Y. had 2 of the biggest plays for the Cowboys today. The pass interference on 4th down against Darius Slay.
Yeah.
That's a good route run to set Darius Slay up. And Darius Slay was sitting to the outside. All he had to do was wait for T.Y. to come back out to him. But T.Y. gave him some work inside, made him bite and turn back inside to him, and he grabbed him. And that was, you bailed out Kellen Moore in that offense again. With the pass interference penalty to get a fresh set of downs. And then you bail him out again on the 3rd and forever. And so, T.Y. came in today. I asked the fans before the game what would be a success for T.Y. Hilton. He had 2 of the biggest plays for you today to keep drives alive and allow you to go score points. Because after the pass interference, they score points. After that long catch, they score points. So,
game ball guys, one of the game balls have to go to T.Y.
T.Y., you made plays today that might not come up on the stat sheet, but boy, they were huge.
That one will. How long was that one? Let me.
That had to be 40-something yards.
52 yards.
Yep. Sound about right.
52 yards on that play. And I saw somebody in the comment section, and this is another unsung hero of this game, Tyler Biadasz, getting that fumble.
Yes.
Because that was on that same possession. You know, if he doesn't get that fumble, which they ruled Philly at first, and I'm like, well, Biotis has the ball.
Right.
But then eventually they turned it over and gave it back to the Cowboys, and next thing you know, Dallas, is going down to, I believe, tie the game at that point. But, man, just an unbelievable game. Another play that could come up. Jake Ferguson, 1 reception, 24 yards. But we were talking about how if that happened to Ben Schultz, he maybe goes down right there.
Right.
But he turns upfield and gets some big plays. So every CeeDee Lamb, obviously. Tony Pollard made big plays. T.Y., Dalton Schultz was clutch on that final drive to go ahead. Michael Gallup, who had his issues today. Trust and believe me, he had his issues. Clutch touchdown catch at the end in the scramble drill. Jake Ferguson with his catch. Everybody contributed with some type of big play on offense, and that's really all you can ask for when it's up to you to go win the game.
But honestly, Will, that has to take place. Like when you're playing teams that are just as good as you or better, I need everybody. I need everybody to contribute in their realm. Yeah, Jake Ferguson may not have a ton of receptions and a ton of yards, but dog, when I throw it to you, make a play. Right. You know, and T.Y. might not have a bunch of like you're supposed to make plays when you're called upon to make those plays. And in order to win games against opponents like the Philadelphia Eagles and who you may face in the playoffs, which are good football teams, everybody has to contribute. Everybody has to find a way to make a play that's going to help this team win the football game. And offensively, it happened a lot today. Yes, your wide receiver one should be the guy who gets the bulk of the targets and the look. And that's what CeeDee Lamb did today. And he showed up, and he had some incredible catches. He had one catch that my back is still hurting from the one he held on to. But this is what you want from your wide receiver number one. Yeah. And then the rest of the guys, you fill in the gap. You fill in those guys when they finally decide to double CeeDee Lamb. Okay, Ferg, you got to get some love. Schultz, you got to get some love on a scramble drill. Michael Gallup, you got to get some love. So everybody has to play a part in order for teams to have success like this against other good teams. This is not playing against the bums where you just tee off on them. When you're playing against a quality football team, everybody has to contribute. Everybody has to be locked in, from the fumble recovery, from making the right reads, from Dak Prescott in the first half running when the opportunity presents itself.
Second leading rusher today.
Those type of things, you need those things. Those things created extra downs for you, in those drives, gave you second and third opportunities to get points on the board. So all of those little things that you pick from throughout the game, when you begin to add those together, the sum total is a 40-34 victory.
And they did this in regards to, the pass catchers and Dak Prescott on a day where your running game was not really that successful.
Right.
Dak Prescott was the second leading rusher today with 41 yards on 6 carries. But between Zeke and Tony Pollard, that was 25 carries. They had about 70 yards, roughly, something like that. So, they weren't really teeing off on the ground. So it got to a point where I was saying, hey, man, just put the ball in Dak's hands. He is cooking. Lamb is cooking. He has this secondary right where he wants him. And they did that to win the game. Then it got really strange when you got the last turnover. And that set up the end of the game. But I'm talking about to go down and get it, the game-winning victory, the game-winning drive, whatever you want to call it. I mean, he was on fire throughout that whole second half, really ever since that first interception.
Yeah.
Dak was just pretty much locked in and lighting them up. Big-time victory for the Cowboys, 40-34. There were some significant injuries on the other side of the ball that I want to talk about. The Cowboys not taking advantage of there, but that's a whole nother discussion. But before we do that, this is a post-game show presented by Callahan Motor Companies. Bear with me, my voice is going to be gone tomorrow. We off tomorrow, so that's a good thing. Callahan Motor Company, the finest, most quality-oriented pre-owned dealership in the DFW area. And as a family-owned and operated business, they've been serving the public since 2009. From sales to trade-ins to finance, you can count on Callahan Motor Company with over 150 vehicles regularly in stock with 25 different brands. Hit them up, head down to Keller, Texas, or visit them at CallahanMotorCompany.com. You can call them, too, at 817-562-5223, Jesse. Now, it was a weird game on the flip side.
Yeah.
Really weird game. And I tweet. I do tweet through my emotions during the game. But I was really tweeting through my emotions on this one. And I tweeted on Twitter, and I might still stand on it this week. I said, send both of these damn coordinators to the moon. Send them to the moon because I was fed up. I'm fed up, man.
Right.
I was fed up with seeing 3rd and 5. You're lined up 10 yards off the ball. I'm fed up with this pass rush not getting home. I was fed up with seeing Driscoll at left tackle, and you continue to put Micah Parsons on Jordan Mailata.
Yeah.
I was just getting fed up, and maybe we'll revisit this at a different time. But the defense saved themselves by getting those 4 turnovers. 2, I call them takeaways. I think, the 2 interceptions, they took them things.
Right.
The other fumble, it seemed like Los got it. I got to go look, but I consider that a takeaway. The other one was a gift.
Yes.
And I tweeted out, listen, this defense has been atrocious, but I'll take some more gifts.
Yes.
And we got 2 more gifts.
Christmas.
And the Cowboys were able to finish it. But, we can break it down individually, but just the overall thoughts on today's struggle defensively against a third-string backup, whatever you want to call it, quarterback.
You didn't sack Gardner Minshew at all today. Offensively, they did not punt. Now, I know they got the 4 turnovers. They did not punt at all today.
Yeah.
3rd down, I told you guys in the pregame show, 56% 3rd down conversion for against our defense. Today, they were 8 for 14. I'm not the greatest at math, but I can probably tell you that's greater than 50%. That's up there probably somewhere in the 60, 70%.
And if you include 4th down,
if you do include 4th down,
they were 2 for 3 on 4th, but the biggest one was the final 4th
right?
down.
But and so for this team, and then you gave up 355 passing yards to Gardner Minshew,
and it felt like every pass was a chunk play.
Yeah, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, both really good receivers. They both had over 100 yards receiving. Devontae Smith 2 touchdowns, 14.1 yards a catch. A.J. Brown 17.2 yards a catch. And I think the biggest thing comes from the inability for this defense up front to get the pressure that they once did on quarterbacks.
To get home.
They
pushing these dudes off they spot. Here they did it to Trevor, but they're not finishing. For whatever reason, they're not finishing. And there was a point at the end there where Micah was trying to bang one. He was trying to get a timeout. Yeah. Hey, I'm on one knee. I'm tied. I'm T-I-D-E. I'm tied.
And tied, boss.
Facts. And, I don't know if it's those other guys hitting the wall. Micah is Micah. I feel like Micah's still going to bring it every game, but it feels like no one else is really getting home or creating as much pressure as they did earlier. And that is a worry heading into this playoffs. There's no doubt about it now. This whole is your team a defense offense? Your team is offense.
Yeah, switch back.
Your team is offense, and your defense needs to figure out how to mask its deficiencies, because it felt like just about everybody in the secondary, sans Bland, had a bad game. Bland even was getting a little bit worked as well on a few of those, but Trayvon Diggs maybe had his worst game of the season.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah. And he was traveling all day long with A.J. Brown, and gave up over 100 yards. Didn't give up any touchdowns, but this defense is trending in the wrong direction. I told you guys in the pregame show, in the last 2 games, this defense has given up 31.5 points. Well, guess what? I ain't the best math major, but they've given up 31.5 leading into this game, and they gave up 34 in this game.
So that's going to go up.
That's going to go up as well. And again, still, no sacks in this game. So that'll be in the last 3 games. They gotten 1 sack on the quarterback. This is a team who led the National Football League and probably still leads the National Football League in sacks. They were so far ahead.
Well,
Philly,
Philly,
because they got 6 today.
They got 6.
The last 3 games, the Cowboys have 1 sack. That's it. And when you're talking about going into the playoffs, you got to find some sort of pass rush. You got to find something where that quarterback feels your pressure, touching him, hitting him, not just moving him off the spot, because everybody in the court in this league now, if you move them, they can make plays on the move. Gardner Minshew made plays on the move tonight. That's not that. And if you got to go see Philadelphia again, and they have Jalen Hurts, those plays where Gardner Minshew was breaking the pocket, guess what? Those are runs for Jalen Hurts. So for the Cowboys defensively, I get it. I know that they're injured, and I know that they're hurting in some places. They got to figure this thing out, and I'm almost to the point, and I know here's the fine line that we're playing. Because the Cowboys, with the win tonight,
keeps the hopes alive
of maybe getting in this division.
So you're saying there's a chance.
But at the end of the day, do you say to yourself, boy, I need to get these guys fresher. I need to get some of these guys off the field for a game or so and allow their bodies to be fresher as we head into this playoff? Because you looked at Micah throughout this game, like, no, Micah's not giving up, but Micah don't have the same burst. Micah doesn't have the same, cat quickness as he did early. And I get it. It's that point in time of the season, but it's also that point in time of the season where I need you to have that. I need you to get home. I need you to get that sack. I need you to get that, Tank. He's not getting much up front. There's a lot of guys who aren't giving you the same energy that they had. And I'm not saying it's due to a lack of effort.
I just think they're getting worn.
And that's what I'm saying. So, can't
get off the field.
56% on third down conversions. That number's going up as well this week too. So that is the conundrum that we're facing. Do you take a game off, or maybe the last game of the season against Washington? Do you take that game off for some of these guys, or do you keep pushing this thing through? If Philly goes and wins kind of next week, that kind of really would probably seal the deal.
That's silly. They have to lose out.
Right. So if Philly goes and wins next week and that seals the deal, do you think about in that last game just resting a bunch of guys, giving them
the last game? 100%.
Okay.
100% that has to come into play, right? When you get to the last game, who's dinged up, who needs to get a break, who needs a breather, or what have you. And you rather it be for this reason as opposed to COVID reasons. Because remember, Mike had COVID, missed the last game last year, and it affected him in that playoff game. But to your point, man, 0 quarterback hits today.
Yeah.
0. Yeah, he got pushed off his spot and whatnot. But that cannot happen in the playoffs, man. That cannot happen. And I don't know if there's really an answer to it. I don't even know if a game of rest is going to fix it, which is why I now look at coaching. You call it fair, unfair, whatever you want to call it. You have to find something, a solution. So when I see you're off the ball 10 yards in this 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, I look at the coach and say, what are we doing? When I see that you're doing an all-out blitz, but you're not marrying it with pressure on your DBs, they're playing the ball off 10 yards.
Right.
10 yards on an all-out blitz on the goal line. I'm looking at the coach and saying, what are you doing? So I feel like the players are giving everything they can give. Now, just like I used to say about Kellen, I need you to help out here, Dan Quinn.
Right.
And maybe I got a little in my bag, a little heated. I want to send Dan Quinn to the moon. Maybe he can come back down. Just give him a butt kick and then come on back down, DQ. But I do need Dan Quinn to show me that he's trying something, right? It felt like today he was just like, dear Lord, please, baby sweet Jesus, don't let us lose this game. I'm just going to continue to just play back and just hope nobody beats me over time. You know what they say about the Hope Creed?
Yeah.
I don't want Dan Quinn. See, you know what? That's a whole different thing if you know what I'm talking about. I see why Dan Quinn playing the Hope Creed. I'm just saying, Dan Quinn playing the Hope Creed. I don't want to play the Hope Creed. I need us to get back to that wish.
Right.
We wish they would drop back. How many times he dropped back?
44.
44 times. We wish. He would do that.
40 times.
Okay?
40 times.
But they living by this hope creed right now because they're trying to figure it out. You can't get to the playoffs and hope.
No.
You got to get to the playoffs and wish.
Right.
And play with that swagger. And I just feel like this unit is discombobulated, man. It is. And I don't know if there's an answer right now, and that worries me on that side of the ball.
Yeah, and that's going to be troublesome because, most of the time in the playoffs, you're not putting up 40 points. And conversely, so your offense at times might find themselves stalling, right? So defensively, you're gonna have to come up with those plays, not at the end of the game, but sometimes you have to come with those plays in the middle of the game. And again, I credit Deron Bland on that interception. I credit J-Ron on that interception. The other 2 turnovers,
it was gifts.
They were gifts. they were absolute gifts. And so you can't go on the hope.
No.
We hope that we get some more gifts. That's not a great strategy to go by, right? And so for the Cowboys, they got to figure this thing out defensively, man. And this is why Dan Quinn. This is why they pay you the big bucks. This is why you were regarded as one of the best defense coordinators in the league. This is why you were regarded as, getting the next head coaching job because you were able to figure these things out. Don't be the Dan Quinn from the 28-3 collapse in the Super Bowl. Be the Dan Quinn that led the league in sacks this year, led the league in turnovers last year. Be that guy with the guys that you have available to you. I know that it's shaky because you got to play some young guys and have some guys who don't have all the experience, but This is why they pay you the bucks, bro.
This is in a game where it was just, to be frank, it wasn't a good game defensively. Let's just be completely honest here. They got the turnovers, but it wasn't a good game.
You gave up almost 450 total yards of offense.
Gardner Minshew threw for 355.
355 and 2 tutties.
I do want to highlight once again, Deron anything but bland.
He's your corner too, right? Like, period.
Yeah. There's no more playing around with that.
I
think you just have to stick him over on the outside, and that not just for this year. Maybe that's your guy moving forward.
I like it.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Jay Lewis still on the roster from a contract standpoint next year, so he can just stay in the slot. Where Jay Lewis has been a reliable slot guy. If you don't like him, you don't like him, but he's been reliable, and that's all you can ask for. But I wanted to highlight Deron Bland because I often say this about young players. You're going to give up plays.
Yeah.
You're going to get beat. When I'm putting the pressure on Kelvin Joseph, it wasn't just because he's always getting beat. He was always getting beat and not responding ever. 12 targets, 8 receptions, 4 touchdowns. You can't have that. Right. Deron Bland got beat today a few times. Deron Bland made the biggest play of his career after that. That is all I can ask for from a young player that is still figuring this league out here, man. So I want to highlight Deron Bland with his team leading 5th interception for the 5th round pick, I believe it was? 5th or 6th round pick. He is your cornerback too. He played like the best cornerback on the team today.
No, he did. I mean, when you look at what Trayvon Diggs did, giving up a lot of chunk plays. Again, he was shadowing A.J. Brown all across the field today, and A.J. Brown had over 100 yards receiving, 48-yard long. That was
A.J. Brown got at Diggs today.
But the thing about Diggs is Diggs at times gets a little bit too nosy. His eyes are locked into the backfield. He's looking and trying to make the big play. And that's some of the critique that people have given him over the years.
He looked like Diggs last year.
About giving up the big yardage, maybe, getting the interceptions, but giving up those big yardages and those big chunk plays. And today you kind of saw that a little bit. And you can tell that Nick Sirianni and company was like, oh, no. We got something for 7.
Yeah.
Let's
stay there.
Talk about how to set a play up. They ran a slant on the left side, hurry up offense, move A.J. Brown to the right side and said, okay, sluggo, boop, boop, got him.
Let's stay right there with the Turf Tough matchup. Trayvon Diggs versus A.J. Brown. We talked about it. A.J. Brown, 6 receptions on 8 targets, 103 yards. He didn't get into the end zone, but he made constant big plays. I mean, the first pass of the game, play action sluggo, or second pass, the sluggo, and then a bunch of big first downs, just slants where Diggs it just felt like he was out of it today. Yeah. It felt like there was no awareness, situational awareness, down and distance awareness. 3rd and 5, Diggs, while you're playing 10 yards off the ball, And honestly, I think he's setting himself up to get beat again on these double moves by playing off the receiver. I kept saying this. I'm no coach. But I wonder if Al Harris goes to Diggs, grabs him by his neck and says, okay, son, I know you want an interception, but teams are now targeting you because you keep looking in the backfield. Keep your eyes on your man. Play your man. Because it seemed like when he was up on A.J. Brown playing his guy, they just didn't bother to go that way.
Yeah, because you know why? It throws the timing off.
Yeah.
Like whenever you come up, especially when you in the back of the quarterback's mind, no matter how Micah Parsons is feeling, if he's huffing and puffing or whatever, when that quarterback lines up, he's saying, okay, 11's to my left, right? And now I know I don't have all day to hold this football back here. But when I look out further and I go, 7's 10 yards off, I'm good.
Good.
Because I'm gonna get this ball and I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and that ball is coming out. But when I get to the line of scrimmage and now I'm saying 11's to my left.
Yeah.
And I look across the board and I'm going, they're in tight coverage. Now 2 things have to happen. I have to now either 1, read through this thing or guess right.
Right.
Because when they're in press and I know 11's there, I don't have time to go one way and then come back to the second or third option. I have to be precise in what I do or I'm scrambling, I'm getting away. So that's the mindset from a quarterback perspective. I know 11's over there. They know that. They know when Von Miller's over there. They know when DeMarcus Wells over there, T.J. Watt, Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa. You name the pass rusher, a quarterback knows when I come to the line of scrimmage, I got to find where that most dangerous guy is at. And I'm looking for the double sticks. Once I find where he's at, I'm saying, okay, what does the coverage dictate I go? Because if it's not giving me an answer right away, I have to now make sure that I'm guessing or looking or taking a calculated guess in the right direction because I know he's coming and I don't have an opportunity to go 1, 2, 3, back to 1. It's either going to be 1, 2, I'm tucking and running, or 1, 2, and I'm going somewhere with the football and living to see another down. So that's the difference when you have your defensive backs playing up. It disrupts that timing of what the quarterback wants to do. But when you're playing 7 yards off and 8 yards off and 10 yards off, that's backyard pitch and catch. I mean, there were plays today where A.J. Brown or when Devontae Smith, I'm sitting here, I'm like, my back is hurting today. A good stretch, I can get out there and run those slants that those guys are running.
Yeah.
If you lined up Devontae Smith and Deron Bland in that same coverage with the same blitz, that's a touchdown 10 out of 10 times. All I got to do is run up and run out. Okay, run up, run out. The quarterback's going to throw that ball out to the
You're not faster than the ball.
You're not. The timing, your timing isn't good enough. It's I don't know if it's physics or mathematics or whatever you want to call it.
Well, the offense knows where to go. The defense is guessing.
You're
so
guessing.
That one split second.
I'm on you already. So for the defense, you got to come up and disrupt that timing a little bit to throw the quarterback off his rhythm and allow your pass rushers to get there.
Excellent stuff right there. And it's obvious that the Turf Tough matchup was won by A.J. Brown, but he did not win the war. He might have won that battle, but he did not win the war. The Turf Tough matchup presented by DFW Turf. Only thing sweeter than this victory is not spending hours and thousands of dollars every year on your lawn maintenance just to have a yard that dies during the summer. But if I told you, Jesse and Cowboys Nation, that you can get a yard that looks green and clean as a Cowboys lawn that they play on over there at AT&T Stadium, and you can, man. DFW Turf. Hit them up at dfwturf.com, or you can give them a call at 940-365-9165. Whew. I mean, just how we drawed it up, right? We said it was going to be like that.
Yeah, sure.
40 to 34. They was going to force turnovers.
Yeah.
Hey, they was going to give us a heart attack at the end.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie. Real quick on the end there. I did have the bubble guts.
Where did you
Dak
go?
ran out.
I don't know. Like,
no, I'm talking about literally my stomach turned upside down.
I know the pass went incomplete, and I looked over, and I did not see it. I'm like, I hope we know we got a show to do. And I'm looking around, and you're like, you're going. Where did you go?
You're talking about when they got
incomplete pass, the last play of the game.
Oh, I ran out. I ran out to talk trash to all these Eagles fans out there.
I'm like, he know we got a show, right? Like, I didn't like, where did he go? You took off like you were going to the stadium.
I'm talking about when Dak ran out of bounds at 2:01 and then took the sack the next play.
Hold on, let's talk about that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
I want to get to this
Okay.
to this point real quick. Talk about a little bit. My stomach said. When it was on third down, I'm like, please just score a touchdown in this thing. And then they didn't score the touchdown, and then I'm like, oh, no, you mean to tell me they've been just bing, 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 binging down the field, and now I got to go through this in my stomach. It just was not feeling right at the end, man. And I'm not going to lie to you. There was a little bit of me that was like, they about to blow this, aren't they?
And they almost did.
They about to blow this, aren't they? And they didn't. But, man, we got to figure out how to finish. Right?
And that's important. 2 weeks in a row. Last week, the Cowboys, you're up. And instead of making the Jacksonville Jaguars burn a timeout, you throw an incomplete pass and stop the clock. They leave a timeout on the board. Today, Dak Prescott inexcusably runs out of bounds
with 2:01
left on the clock. So not only did you stop the clock, but that 2 minutes is an extra timeout.
That's timeout. To another play.
To another play. Then they didn't have to burn their timeout. Now, what the Eagles didn't do right, which I thought they should have done, when they made the play, they came up and they spiked the ball. I just feel like in those moments, burn the timeout and keep all four of your downs.
Yep.
You limited yourself on that, and you came
to 3 downs.
To 3 downs, and then you couldn't get it done. So I thought that was a little bit of mismanaging. But for Dak this week and for Kellen Moore last week, boy, we got to learn how to truly finish football games because
I think he's going to go back and look at that and say, dang, I misjudged that 2 minute. He probably thought, all right, I'm running out of bounds, 2 minute warning, that is going to stop. But you actually stayed in just long enough or went out just short enough on the other side of the 2 minute warning. But they never make it easy, man. They never make it easy. But
it's the life of a Cowboy fan.
Oh, goodness. This division's not done.
No.
It's not. And I know, and this is why I said when a lot of people were saying, hey, man, this game don't matter. Okay, I know Philly is a really good team, and they probably will go beat the Saints next week, but what if they don't?
Yep.
What if they don't?
Philadelphia has
New Orleans
Saints,
playing for their lives.
And then the Giants.
And the Giants who lost, so they're trying to stay in
Right.
I'm just saying, and again, the division may be out, whatever. I still think the Cowboys needed to go get this victory.
I believe so,
too. Period. So miss me with anybody saying that this game didn't matter.
And not only, like, I don't – there's more questions that continue to persist defensively. But I think offensively, you gained some confidence. You looked around and you said, okay, we found a way to get CeeDee Lamb going, right? We use different motions. We use slot left, slot right, inside, outside. Use different ways to get him going. You saw T.Y. Hilton kind of get his feet under him, like get his feet wet a little bit today. But Dak Prescott was able to overcome that early interception, calm the troops, and go out there and make plays. So offensively, you found some things that can give you some confidence. You found some things that you can feel good about heading into the game next week against the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee, who won't have Ryan Tannehill. You'll have to see Malik Willis. You will have to see King Henry. Defensively, talk about wearing you down.
And he's a runner, the quarterback, so you do have to worry about that. So that'll be interesting next week. But like we said at the beginning in the pregame show, the reason why this matters so much to the offense is because their Jalen Hurts isn't hurt.
Right.
They have all that is still a top defense, and he absolutely shredded that defense.
Yes, sir.
Shredded. So for those who believe that he would not have mattered in Week 6, I completely. How can you watch that and say that man would not have mattered in Week 6 at Philly, brother?
Not for nothing. Like in the boxing world, they say styles make fights. This trilogy is going to be amazing if they get to it in the playoffs because now.
Ooh, because Jalen would be back. That would be dope.
Because you look at the first game, you go, well, you beat us because we had our backup quarterback. Well, you beat us because we had our backup quarterback.
Right.
And now it's like the clash of the Titans, both of the quarterbacks. I don't know if that's going to get. I don't know what the Cowboys going to do in the playoffs. I don't know what he's going to do in the playoffs. I'm just saying. It makes for a hell of a trilogy to have both of the starting quarterbacks now back together because they make a difference. It made 100%. A difference. It made a difference when Dak wasn't there and you lost.
It made a difference.
And it made a difference today because I can tell you on several occasions, I'm like, I looked over to you.
Minshew didn't pull it at one time.
And I was just like, Jalen Hurts would have took off.
He didn't pull it one time.
They had 87 yards rushing total between Sanders and Gainwell. Like, you add Jalen Hurts to that mix, there's another 50, 60 yards maybe of.
And it opens up that middle because we were saying during the game, their RPO offense, whatever you want to call it, read option offense is just as bad as ours from the shotgun.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a threat to run the quarterback's not a threat anymore. So they didn't run the ball productively at all today because of that one reason.
3 yards a carry.
Yes, and that's why I do think, and I know their passing concept is really freaking good. But I do think that there is a chance for a team to upset them, the Saints, because if they can't run the ball, now maybe a different team gets home. Maybe a different team that has a better coverage, which the Saints do have better defenders, I think, in the backfield collectively.
But Jalen Hurts makes that very hard for you to get home. Like just the way that he's
right. I'm talking about if Minshew's in the game.
Yes.
If Minshew's playing next week, right. There's a shot, man. There's a shot
because not for nothing, the Saints up front. They got guys get out the quarterback up front. Like they have some guys.
They got some dogs in that back end too.
They do, but like they what I love about.
But now we talking about Saints Eagles.
But Saints, look at that Saints team. That same team was kind of really built to stop the Bucs.
Right.
And Tom Brady, which gives you a very similar look to what Gardner Minshew is, and the Eagles if he's playing. You know what I'm saying? It's different when you got because Jalen Hurts makes you play 11 on 11 every single down. Because of his running ability, with Gardner Minshew, that element is taken away, and now you can kind of almost tee off. And Gardner Minshew will give you.
Clearly, he gives you something.
He'll throw you one or two in a football game just by his kind of almost cavalier approach at times with his.
I call him swashbuckling kind of.
I have no idea what that means.
You never heard that one swashbuckling? They used to say that about your boy Tony.
Swashbuckling?
I think it's swashbuckling. Kind of just a. I'm out here, man. I'm not the greatest, but I'm just running around. Exactly.
Yeah, all right. I've never heard of swashbuckling
before.
Early
Tony.
Okay.
Not late Tony.
No,
Tony. But early Tony was like, hey, man, I'm ad-libbing. I'm making a play, man.
Right. I get you. Yeah. No, if that's what that term means, then yes, it fits Gardner Minshew. I have no term. If that's a term that I'm not supposed to be using, blame him.
Let me bring it.
I don't know what that means.
Let me bring it back. To why the Cowboys and Dak Prescott had to come out here and play well against this defense, man. They needed to see that, and you called it confidence, is actually what I was bringing it back. They needed to see that they can build some confidence against some dogs.
Yep.
And regardless, man, the Eagles' defense has dogs. And Dak absolutely abused them. CeeDee Lamb absolutely abused them. A little upset Tony only got 9 carries in this game, but I personally think those guys individually, like the players individually, Dak, CD, Michael, even though he dropped one, but the players, Schultz, Ferguson, they gained more confidence in this game. I don't think I gained any confidence from the OC. But the players, to me, have given me confidence that, okay, maybe you can overcome this thing in the playoffs, but can you do it 3 times, 4 times, a different story.
Let me ask you a question, because it just came in when you said that Tony Pollard only had 9 carries.
Yeah.
Do you trust that Kellen Moore has the ability to get multiple guys off in a game? That sounded very weird. That sounded very, very weird. But do you feel like Kellen Moore will be like, oh, I'm going to get CD going and CD going and Pollard going? Like, it seems like if he gets one guy going, it's like, that's it. That's the only guy we're going to get going. We don't have the ability to get that guy going as well as getting this guy on a consistent basis.
Excuse me. Nah. No. I sneeze. I almost sneezed. Let me ask that question again. I'll give you the same answer. Nah. Shout out to my wife and kids. No. You can end it right here. Do you trust Kellen? No.
No. Yeah. Period.
Just end it.
End it.
Just mute you after that.
End the discussion.
Here's Jesse Alley. Do you trust Kellen Moore? So do you trust him? No.
No.
I don't trust Kellen.
You stopped listening after I said, do you trust?
I just literally stopped listening after you.
I got you.
I was waiting for you to finish so I can tell you. That's why my nose started. No. Trust Kellen Moore to get multiple guys. No, I don't do that. It'll come down to 4 having to overcome all of that, man. 4 is going to have to get them dudes involved. It's going to have to be one of those situations maybe where he comes to the line of scrimmage and be like, all right, man, listen, we ain't running this comeback on Bradbury because you can't create separation, Gallup. Just run down the field and throw it up.
Right.
Or just run a slant. So, no, I don't think he can scheme up multiple guys. I mean, look at today. I mean, now this is a tough defense, but I'm trying to think when go to the Minnesota game, the cleanest offensive game of the year, right?
Well, hands down.
Tony Pollard was the guy. I don't remember any. I mean, maybe somebody else did snap, but did anybody else snap in that game? I don't recall.
I don't recall.
We ain't got to look, but maybe somebody did. Maybe CD went off for $150 in that game. I don't know, but nah. To answer your question, I don't think so.
Okay. Just figured I'd ask.
Yeah. Oh man, listen, my wife and kids is classic. Anyway, man, parting shots, good stuff today. Exciting victory. We can enjoy.
No, you're absolutely right. No one else went off. Tony Pollard had 80 yards rushing, 109 yards receiving. That's it.
That's it.
Elliott had half the yards rushing, and the closest receiver to his 109 was CeeDee Lamb's 45.
So TP had about 200 yards total.
He had about 200 yards total offense and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's about right.
On 21 touches.
That's about right.
Yeah, that was it. That was.
No, I don't.
I guess you're right.
I gotta show you. No what I'm talking about. The way he does his now it gets better and better every single time. Man. It's better. Wayne's brothers are just classic. All the Waynes. All of them. Man, listen, Merry Christmas, Cowboys Nation. The Cowboys have given you a great present to take home with you today. Enjoy it with your family tomorrow. Don't let nobody take this one from you. Don't let those I Am Legend monsters that don't like the quarterback, or don't let these Eagle fans that want to come in here and talk about it was our backup. Well, it was our backup in Week 6. I'm not hearing none of that. Enjoy this victory. Enjoy it with your family.
It's almost impossible for anybody. Like, Eagles fans cannot say that. You just can't.
Well, they will.
There's no way that you can honestly and confidently say it was our backup when literally the shoe was on the other foot 10 weeks ago, and it was the same exact situation. So if you're taking credit for that win, then we're taking credit for and there are probably going to be some fans out there from Philadelphia that's like, oh, it's our back. But there's no way that you can honestly say that this was our backup. Y'all can't really count that win.
One more thing. I need Shady to report to the office.
Oh.
I need Shady to come to the office, stand right here, turn around, get a nice fade. I hope he got a fade because, you know, his lineup is woo. I hope he got a nice little fade in the back. Lick the back of my hand. Pop! Because he need to get one.
I need to stop listening to that.
He need to get. I don't. But they be tagging me. They be on his Twitters. But I need Shady to step forward. Because that man, number 4 today, showed up and showed out.
No, he had a performance today, man. No, he had a performance. I said this early on when he threw that interception. I was like, uh-oh. I said, I know Shady's somewhere smiling down and waiting for. But again, Dak came back, man, and weathered the storm. 347 yards, 3 touchdowns. It wasn't no dinking and dunking. It was complete control, almost 10 yards a pass.
Yeah.
That's insane. Almost 9.9 yards per pass.
I would love to see what his third down numbers are because he literally just kept saving them in third and long. It felt like the whole entire game.
The whole entire game.
The whole game.
They were. It seemed like every time I looked up, 3rd and 5. 3rd and
9.
3rd and 9.
2nd and 9. It was ridiculous.
3rd and 37. And he continued to bail him out.
It's crazy.
There is no 3rd and 37 play unless you just.
No, it was literally YOLO. But even the YOLO was right there, and then T.Y. finished. I can't wait to just run this thing back, Jesse.
Yep.
But, man, listen, it's been a fantastic year, 2022, again with you, brother. Please enjoy.
But we got one more before 2022 ends. We got one Thursday. We got one. So don't give your end of the year speech yet.
Don't give my end of the year speech.
Hold that to the next week. We got one more Thursday.
Put a pin in it. You're absolutely right. How about this? Enjoy your Christmas.
There you go. And to all of you, thank you so much for always being down with us, joining us, being here tonight on Christmas Eve. I hope you were wrapping up the gifts and doing all that kind of stuff. But I do want to give a charge to each and every one of you, man. Spend time with your people. Don't let that time pass. No one knows when our time to go home will be called. So use every bit of these moments, man, to do things that you want to do for you, but also spend that time with your family. And these are perfect times to do so, whether it's around Cowboy games, whether it's around baseball games, basketball games, whatever it may be. Carve out that time to be with your family. And we're so thankful that we call you family, you call us family, because we spend that much time together. So from me, from Will, I say to you, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Indeed, man. You'll see us next week. You're still off here for a little bit.
Nah, I'm working.
All right, I'll be back Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we'll be here Thursday. Back at Texas Live.
Back here.
Cowboys, Titans. Another big one.
Yes.
Another big important game, man. As our guy Jeff Kavanaugh would say. Be kind to everyone because you do not know.
Watch out, ladies. The gun show is about to take place, all right? Okay.
And here he comes. How about them Cowboys, baby? How about them?
Let's go, baby.
I'm in my zone, on the road to the Super Bowl. Every game on the schedule crucial, it take a toll. It don't matter if we at home or on the road. You try to tackle, I'll truck a sucker and take it soul. I'm staring at 4th and goal, gotta find an open hole. A linebacker just close a hole where I'm supposed to go. So now I'm thinking my centers are all pro, so I trust he can make a walk for wherever the ball go. Yeah, there's 5 seconds on the play clock. The crowd was loud, but they stopped. Now it's silent.